Simon & Schuster Audio presents Claire McCardell, The Designer Who Set Women Free, by Elizabeth Evitts Dickinson. Read by Marni Penning. For all those in search of their true calling, and to Matt and Nola for encouraging me to pursue mine. Introduction. Dressing for a Revolution. It was after 6 o'clock on a June evening in 1955, and Claire McCardell sat in her Manhattan apartment with an eager young journalist. McCardell, age 50, had recently made the cover of Time magazine, only the second fashion designer to achieve the honor. Life was readying a story about outfits she'd made using fabric designs by the artists Pablo Picasso and Marc Chagall. McCardell had granted hundreds of interviews during her 27-year career, but in all that time, she'd never allowed a journalist inside her apartment. Somehow, she'd been disarmed by the energetic reporter, whose dogged curiosity she'd come to admire over the several days the woman had shadowed her at work. The journalist was equally surprised to have gained access to McCardell's Upper East Side home. She'd been warned that McCardell protected her personal life. The writer, though, was Betty Friedan, and she was on a mission. The 34-year-old mother would later write that something is very wrong with the way American women are trying to live their lives today. She was already forming the ideas that would become her 1963 feminist cri de coeur, the feminine mystique. On that evening, she wanted to take a peek inside the life of one of the most influential women in America. Friedan had told her editor at the Town Journal that a profile on Claire McCardell would provide the story of American fashion coming into its own. McCardell had ushered in a new era of modern design and pioneered what was widely known as the American look. Casual, stylish, ready-to-wear sportswear that was also affordable. In doing so, she had become one of the first designers to successfully join high fashion with mass production. Equally important to Friedan was the story of a woman advancing her ambitions in a culture that prioritized men. McCardell was born and raised in the small town of Frederick, Maryland, far from the centers of fashion. When she had arrived in New York in 1925, clothing labels had carried the name of the manufacturer.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?